What's up people, I'm Xogue and welcome to another mod spotlight. This one is for Sanguimancy. Now Sanguimancy is made by a guy named Tomben and, well, it's a pretty awesome mod. It adds a lot of things to blood magic. And there's going to be a link in the description leading you to the forums where you can download it, get some extra information about it, and leave any comments you may or may not have about it. So, let's get started. First thing I want to mention is actually about blood magic and Mariculture. At the time of recording, the current versions of these mods don't quite work together as well as you may hope they do. Now, there is already an existing bug between these two and it has nothing to do with the mod I'm doing a spotlight on right now, but it is important to note nonetheless. In order to get them to work together, you have to go into the Mariculture configs and disable the blood magic plugin. Now, once you do that, there's going to be some recipe issues that will crash the game. So then you need to go into the Hardcore Ender expansion configs and have it automatically remove any broken recipes. And that way, by doing that, the game will load fine and you will be able to use these mods. The first thing you're going to want to do once you get this mod installed and working properly is make the book. Now, something to note about the book is that it actually does not say anything about Sanguimancy in the tooltip, which I imagine will be changed in the future, but for now, it's actually a separate mod. Tomben has made a separate mod for this book itself, and it's just a guide API. It's a way to make guides for mods easier. It's pretty cool. But right now, it's called Delving into the Darkness, and to make this guy, it's pretty simple. First of all, you need a weak blood orb, which means you do need to have at least a tier 1 altar in 2000 LP in order to get this thing started. So you need a diamond, tier 1 altar, 2000 LP, and you get your weak blood orb. After that, you just need the vanilla style book and quill, which is pretty easy to make. You just need a black dye, feather, and a book, and then another black dye of some kind. And you will get this book, Delving into the Darkness. Now, once you open this book, you're going to see these tabs right here. Now, I love the way that it's organized, and I love the tone of voice used. Welcome, Blood Magicer, to your journey through the dark paths in blood magic. Strange and dangerous things will happen should you follow this path. Thou hast been warned. Now, if you go into any of these, you see these little quotes and stuff. Nasty little thieves, they stole our precious. Now, if you don't know what that's a reference to, then bad on you, because you really should watch, you know, some Lord of the Rings stuff. But Smeagol is awesome, and I can't do the voice, so I didn't even try. But he's got these little quotes in some of these things, and it's pretty cool. You got to come, if you don't do anything else, just check out the quotes, because they're really awesome. But as you notice, there are quite a few things to this mod. You have extra rituals, you have extra items, extra blocks, and a couple extra concepts as well. Now, we're not going to go through everything in this video. There will be other videos linked in the description about the specifics about some of these other things. But for this one, we're going to go over an overall of the mod itself and just kind of see an overview of some of these concepts and some of the really cool items that I like. First concept I want to mention is all about automation and management of your blood altar. Now, you can already do this a little bit without the mod, you know, through various means and item transfer nodes and crazy stuff like that, but this is something a little bit deeper. For example, the altar emitter itself is something you can set to a certain number. Now, this number, as soon as you have enough blood to equal that number, then it will output a redstone signal, and you can do whatever you want, light up lights or make fireworks go off or whatever you want to do as soon as it reaches that number, which would be kind of cool if you have some kind of an automation. Set up fireworks and a ring around it, and then you have this altar emitter set off fireworks when it reaches that level. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, so, you know, that's just something you can do. I mean, redstone. You can do a lot of things with redstone. Now, the next thing I want to talk about real quick is the altar diviner. Now, this thing right here is really cool. Let's check it out real quick. Basically, what you do with this guy is you take it into your inventory and you put it down adjacent to your blood altar. Now, what this will do, it will allow you to put items in. What does that mean? It's a GUI-less thing. You don't do anything. But let's say you had some stone. You can put in some stone in here, and you can put up to a stack of it into the altar. You see right there is floating right above. Now, what this thing does is it will actually wait until you have the proper tier and proper amount of blood in the system, and then it will transfer it into it. So you don't have to worry about all these hoppers and checks and stuff. This thing does it for you. You don't have to worry about it. You just set it here and be like, oh, I'll have enough blood eventually, and you can go away and it will do everything for you. And it's amazing. It's awesome. But that's about as far as I'm going to go in with this. There is going to be a video, if it's not already out, there will be one that goes through all of the blood altar manipulation techniques in this mod. So check that out in the description, and we can get to the next thing. Concept I want to talk about is all about the soul network dimension. Now I believe that's going to get a different name, but the basic idea is going to stay the same. And what it is an easy way to manage all of your networks. What do I mean by that? By everything, all the rituals, everything that you put in your world, all about blood magic. If you had 50 rituals spread out across the world, thousands of blocks in every direction, it can be really, really hard to manage them, turn them on and off when you need to. So the Tomben has come up with a way to make that so much easier. Now what you can do is you can craft a few items. The Soul Chunk Claimer you get one of once you get here. But if you make a corrupted demon shard, a few demonic slates, you can get another one, and that's not too big of a deal. Now, it says Soul Chunk Claimer. What in the world is that? We'll get into it in a minute. The first thing you need is actually need 2 soul transporters. Now, that says transposer in the tooltip right there, but pretty sure it's supposed to be transporter. And that'll be fixed pretty shortly. That's just a typo. Anyway, so you need 2 of these guys, and with 2 of them, what you can do is you can go into and come out of this dimension. You do need to make sure you do it because the item is used once you go there, except I'm in creative, so for me that's not the case. Now once you come into this world, you're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff here that what is this? We'll get into it in just a second. So let's turn our chunks on real quick, and basically what you can do in this world is you can strategically bind things to yourself with the ethereal manifestation. So what in the world is going on? Basically, you saw that we came here through the soul transporter, and with that, you see this world, right? And now I have 2 of them. Sweet. So what you can do in this world is manage your entire network from one place. It gives you access to everything you have in the overworld right here inside one chunk. So even if your blocks are spread out across everything in the overworld, you have thousands, 10,000 blocks away for whatever reason, you can come here and see them right side by side and just manage everything that you need. And this includes rituals. You can turn rituals on and off as well. But how do you get items to show here, and how do you interface with them? Well, we're not going to go into depth with the interfacing with them, but just to get them to show up, you need the ethereal manifestation in your inventory somewhere. And then after that, all you got to do is just bind something to yourself. As soon as you bind it, you see right there, you feel something creating ties to your soul. And there is another one right here. You see it? Now I have 3 of them. I've tested this a few times. Can you tell? So then you see that the ethereal manifestation actually disappears after that. It's a one-use item, and it is used once you actually do that. Now, in order to get this stuff to show up at all, you have to claim a chunk. Now, as you see, I have already claimed this chunk, but the first time you come here, if you want to use this world, you have to come in and you have to claim a chunk. You see the chunk at X, Y dimension, yeah, successfully claimed. And this is how you get things started. Now, once you bind things to yourself with an ethereal manifestation inventory, that will bind it and show it in this world. And after that, you can do things like there's soul knots and other things. Simple soul knot. There's the soul branch. There's a lot of things you can do in this mod, and there's going to be another video about this in more detail. So if this is a world you're interested in using for any reason, then check out that video, and again, it will be down in the description. The concept that this mod introduces is called soul corruption. Now, soul corruption is an interesting thing. It's almost like a new currency for you. Now, this currency is not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing either. So there are multiple things, but what is it? So if we go into the relevant page in this book, which I've already gone to, don't worry too much about it. You go here, soul corruption, and then the second page. But soul corruption, what is it? Soul corruption is the consequence of going neck deep into dark magic. It isn't harmful in the least at low concentration, but speak properly, but it becomes more and more dangerous as it rises. Now, every detail that the soul corruption has, that's all up to you. You got to have some fun with it and figure things out. But the basic idea is that there is a certain level. Now, there's an item right here, the Soul Corruption Reader. It reacts very, very similar to the Divination Sigil, except that instead of showing your LP network, it'll actually show your corruption. So you see right there, I have Soul Corruption 0. Now, the normal way to gain corruption is through the use of dark rituals, dark magic, and as you see here, if we go back into this one, sacrifice magic, which is an interesting concept, you can actually steal the LP from other players. Yeah, you heard me. You can steal their LP, which is really cool. Now, it's a little bit of a, complicated thing to do, but it sounds really awesome. Anyway, so once you get this soul corruption started, you'll end up gaining soul corruption. Now, these things right here, I just have add soul corruption and remove soul corruption. But as you add corruption, your soul corruption will go up. Now, I'm not sure exactly the quantities, how much soul corruption it adds or takes away per ritual or any of that stuff. That's something for you to figure out. But there is an interesting little thing. If I go right here and just keep adding soul corruption, what just happened? Yeah, that's a thing I figured out a little while ago. Once you have enough soul corruption, you actually go ethereal yourself, which is really kind of, it's interesting. Now, I think it messes up the textures just a little bit, but overall, it's kind of cool. You're a little bit see-through. It's interesting. So let's turn me back to normal, and I'm going to go ahead and remove some other things. Actually, let's keep it up for a little bit. Maybe something will happen that I do kind of want to show you. Let's go up. Yeah, that should be fine. Anyway, now, soul corruption it's interesting because you can use certain things. Now, for example, let's take a look at some of the items. Now, the items I want to take a look at, the corrupted blade, for example. Now, this right here, oh, look. Evil chicken. What? An evil chicken minion seems to have taken an unhealthy interest in me. And he's following me around. Now, if I were in, survival mode. Oh, I'm creative. Is he going to attack me? No? Maybe not. I don't know. He runs around. I don't know if he's supposed to attack me or not. Doesn't look like he does. Anyway, doesn't really matter too much. That's just an interesting little concept. A chicken minion. I have a chicken minion, and he's evil. It's an unhealthy interest. Anyway, so this item right here, the sword, is basically, it has a certain ability, and the other items also have other abilities as well. The axe, the pickaxe, and shovel. We'll go into that in the next video where I actually go through all of the items that you can get. But the sword itself is pretty interesting because what you can do with this thing is actually steal hearts from other players. That's the special feature of this sword. When a player is hit by the sword and the ability is activated, some hearts are taken from the player who has hit and added to the life of the player who holds the sword. The maximum number of hearts that can be stolen is 7.5, which means a player can be down to 2.5 hearts for a full minute, while another can go up to 17.5 for 1 minute. Now, this thing adds a buff to you. If you have enough soul corruption and this ability is activated like that, shift right click and it's up. You see how the texture that I'm holding, the sword that I'm holding actually turned green? It's interesting. I can actually steal a heart from things. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little thing. So this thing adds a lot of other items as well, and we will go into that in the item tutorial or the item video that I'm gonna have, and again, that will be down in the description. So if you think this is a mod that you want to check out, then feel free. Visit the other videos, and I will be going more in depth with a whole lot of things. Now there's 2 of them. Hi there, chicken minions. Anyway, so if you like this video, if you want to see more, then feel free to like and subscribe. Comment, favorite, share if you feel like you want to. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.